I'm Coach Kim Giles, and this is your people skills tip of the week. This week we're talking about how to deal with a difficult coworker, and this is a question I get asked a lot. Now the problem is there's lots of different types of annoying, difficult people that you might work with, and the solution is going to be different based on the kind of problem that we're talking about. So you may have just an annoying coworker, or you may have a very vindictive, possibly evil coworker, and these are two very different situations. So let me give you a couple ideas that would apply to almost anything. And I realize these are tough because a difficult coworker can turn a fantastic job into a literal nightmare, and I understand that. So first thing I want you to do is just make sure that you're not part of the problem. And I think it's a good idea to talk to some other people at work. And this is not about bashing on this coworker or getting other people on board on this hating this coworker bandwagon. This is about asking some questions about your own behavior and being open to some feedback to see if you're creating part of the problem that's making this situation happen. So I want you to always be open to that, because sometimes you're having difficulty with people because partly of your own behavior. And then the other thing that you've got to do is recognize that every experience that shows up in your life, it's a lesson. It's a chance for you to learn some things and learn how to be better, smarter, kinder, stronger. Every life is a classroom and every experience is a lesson. So I think it's really valuable to step back and ask yourself, what could this difficult coworker be in your classroom to teach you? What could you learn from this? How could this literally make you a better person? And you need to answer that question first. And I also want to make sure that you're not reactive. Don't ever react to a coworker's bad behavior in the moment, especially when you're feeling emotional or angry. Calm down first, get a clear head. Now, you don't want to let things go on for weeks and weeks before bringing them up, and it doesn't make sense to go to a coworker and say, hey, you did something a month ago that bothered me. We want to address things while they're fresh, but not when you're in the height of emotion and you're going to be strongly reactive. So step back for a minute, and the first thing I want you to do is put yourself in this person's shoes. What else is going on in their world that could be contributing to their bad behavior at work? Are they having family problems or health problems? Are they having a lot of fear at work, fear of failure themselves? Are they feeling taken from or walked on any level? What issues are going on with them that might make them lash out at you or other people? One of the common ways that we deal with fear of failure or loss ourselves is by complaining, criticizing, casting other people as the bad guy. Kind of makes us feel more like the good guy. So could some of that be going on? See if you can get some compassion and some clarity about what's happening with that coworker. And then if you feel it's appropriate to have a conversation with that person, there's a couple things I want you to keep in mind. First of all, I want you to figure out exactly what kind of outcome you're hoping for. What is it you want to ask this person for as far as a change of behavior to treat you differently? You need to know that up front, that that's what I'm going into this to ask for. Then you need to be very careful to choose the appropriate time to have this discussion, a time when you won't be interrupted by anyone else, and a time when you can talk privately so that this person won't be embarrassed. Then I want you to be very calm, and I want you to start out by asking questions. Always find out more about what's going on with them, how they're feeling about work, how they're feeling about the work you do together. How do they feel about working with you? Do they have any concerns? Is there anything you could do to show up better for them? And if you ask all those questions and let this person really talk and tell you how they feel and what's going on with them, chances are you're going to be blown away at all the things that you thought you knew or assumed, but that weren't accurate. Things that you need to learn and understand before you speak your truth to this person. Now, after you've really listened to them and you've validated, honored, and respected their right to feel the way they feel, you can ask if they would be open to let you share some things that you feel. Or maybe to ask them a favor. Would they be open to that? And when they give you permission, I want you to be really careful to use more I statements than you statements. So say, I am experiencing this and I feel this way and this behavior makes me feel like this. Talk about you. Don't say you do this and you do that and you, because those are attacks and that's not what we want to do. So use I statements and then focus more on their future behavior than their past behavior. So instead of saying last week you did this and last month you did that, you're talking about things that are in the past that this person can't change or fix. So instead say, hey, I just wondered if moving forward you'd be willing to do this or to treat me a little bit differently. If this happens again, would you be willing to do this? Then we're talking about stuff they have control over. They can control their future behavior. And the conversation, I promise, will go a lot better. Now, if you try all these things and the problem is still really destroying your ability to be productive or happy at work, then you might want to go to a superior at work and talk about the situation. But I always think it's best to try to work it out on your own first and have some compassion for other people. Most people who are behaving badly towards you are hurting and in pain. And if you'll give them a chance to find out what's going on with them, you'll usually find out that it wasn't about you at all. I hope that helps. Remember, there are a lot of resources on our website about specific situations, a lot of articles about dealing with coworkers that may hit on the specific situation you're dealing with. I hope this helps.